Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the Hound. I'm Sean. Hope everyone's doing well. I figure it's high time that we talk about where we sit with the 2023 Lincoln Cent Extra V pennies, cents, however you want to call them. I don't give a care at this point because these things are the biggest chase so far in 2023, and yeah, I don't know if you guys have paid close attention to these within the last, I would say, month and a half, but they've really taken off. So just to kind of in this not so long diatribe, I guess. Here's how this all kind of happened. So back in about, I would say, early March, these coins were first discovered primarily on Philadelphia minted examples. And what it was is it's a V anomaly. It's the shape of a letter V that sits to the right of Victor David Brenner's initials. Uh, from that time, people were really calling it the VDB V variety, which is kind of crazy because, that's how we've adopted this particular, and dare I call it, variety now. This thing has quite a bit of attention paid to it today, and even more so now that the prices are getting insane on them. So it's drawn enough attention. I'll probably blame myself in all of this because I constantly promote and I talk about the coin weekly ever since its first discovery. And I would like to say that I'm probably the first one to have ever broken the news on the extra V anomaly to the public in this capacity. But just to kind of get you guys up to speed, about a month and a half ago, a couple very distinguished error enthusiasts. Number one, Mr. Ken Potter. Some of you probably already know who he is. He's one of the main guys in the hobby. Has been a contributor to a lot of publications. He even wrote the book "Strike It Rich with Pocket Change," which is one of the most successful books today and on Amazon. And that's just a small little accolade along a long list of accolades that Mr. Potter has in the coin community, but also a gentleman by the name of Mike Diamond, who has his finger to the pulse of the error world. He's very active on social media sites like Facebook. He's on Facebook. Most importantly, he's on the forum chat pages like Coin Community is a big one where he's always at. But he had recently, and he's a contributor to a lot of big publications, including errorreference.com. But he is also a contributor to a certain magazine that you guys may have heard of. It's Coin World Magazine. He's also done, I believe, articles for Numismatic News, for Kaneka, and things like that. So he's all over the place as well. So he has a relatively massive footprint. People know him, and he's like one of the go-to sources. So Mr. Diamond had done some investigative work, some research on the coin. He asked someone for a few examples of this particular variety slash error. At that point, we didn't know exactly what it was. And he examined it. He had talked to other people, and then, by the time the dust had settled, he had released his findings in an article in Coin World magazine. I would say probably like 3-4 weeks ago, somewhere around there. You'd be able to find the article, but there's also a few people that have listed on eBay that particular page in the article on their listings. So if you're hunting for these, more than likely you're going to see that article as one of the main supporting type of documents that these sellers have been using. As far as the timeline of the values of these things, when they were first discovered, I mean, they were selling for a very respectable amount of money. They were in that kind of like $40 to $60 range. And at that time, even still, people weren't exactly sure what it was, but they knew it was something special. Okay. And then more and more of these became released out into circulation. Again, we're talking a period of about March going all the way up till probably early May. So there's a good 2 month span, but you can imagine how many coins have been produced with this anomaly on there. I'm willing to bet it's quite a few, and it's a very sizable number. But after a while, a lot of these have been flooding the market, and as a result, prices have gone down on them, being that there wasn't any definitive conclusion as to what this is. So the prices got down to as low as $20 to $25 per coin. And then we're talking about like early April. I mean, this is not the not too recent past. This is May 31st right now. So about a month and a half, 2 months ago, when these things had essentially bottomed out in the marketplace. And then Mr. Diamond had released his article in Coin World magazine, and that just kind of sparked an ignition of just a wildfire. Now, what does the wildfire include? Okay, number one, more listings came up on eBay. More people know what it is. Therefore, there's more heightened activity for these coins. Whereas, just a week prior to that, you'd be lucky to get one or two bids on these coins. Again, with no definitive clue as to what they are. Another thing, number two, that really pushed this one over the edge had to be the fact that third-party graders were now attributing this from Annex to NGC, and I would speculate that PCGS is following as well. NGC, one of the bigger ones, because they have a few of the bigger ones out there today that's currently out in the open market and have sold, and the prices are quite staggering. We're going to check out a few of these here momentarily, but they are coining this particular anomaly the Extra V variety. And this all, ladies and gentlemen, in the course of about 4 to 6 weeks, things all of a sudden had to take a drastic turn. Now, where are these things settling at price-wise? Just by looking at the couple most recent sales activities and keeping in mind that a vast majority of these coins are still in BU to choice BU condition, a lot of them seem to fall in that mid-state 65 type arena, grade-wise, and that's raw, ungraded. So this is our most recent sale here. If I were to add shipping to everything, I mean, this one right here sold for about $153. It's bid up organically, which means it's not a buy it now listing. It's been bid up by a number of people. So this will help you guys gain a little perspective on just how busy this coin is on the secondary market. There's a lot of people that have a vested interest in this coin. So 21 bids here, 17 bids here. This one sold at about $109 shipped. Here's another one at $120. That's 18 bids. Here's a buy it now. That one I covered in my PCMR. That one sold for $140. Again, you could audit that information by using like 130 point or by using the eBay tool where you can go back and actually look at realized prices. Here's a prominent one here. This is an NGC graded example that shows Extra V on the label. It's a mid-state 67 red. Phenomenal grade, but not the highest. This one sold for $620 with 35 bids. Here's one here. This one was not confirmed to be an Extra V. I think they saw something like seeing a squirrel running across the grass when in reality it was just something else. Here's another one here. This is one of the bigger raw sales, $275. Of course, it's got a benefits charity that is supporting it, therefore leading to much bigger prices. This one right here has a scratch that I guess have tripped out some people into thinking that it's the extra V. Here's a Mid-State 67 through NGC, along with 9 other ungraded pieces. The whole lot sold for $1,150, and that's with 3 bids. All right, that's actual bidding activity. But as you can see, the prices have elevated well beyond what they used to be at the $20 to $25 price level, and this is all as a result of good press. And simply when you have the participation of some of these big time error attributors coming out, and again, having an interest in knowing more about this coin, when the collecting scene catches wind of what this could be because of some early leak of information that Mike had put out, it's all hands on deck. And then that's eventually where we're beginning to see these prices just simply jump up into uncharted territories. And now all of a sudden a coin that at one point, at its highest point, we were able to buy at $50 or $60 a coin. Now the new comfort level is in that it's kind of like $150 to $200 range. Okay, and that's kind of like we're playing the averages here because we have coins that have sold for $250. But at the same token, we've seen a few that have sold for like $100 to $150. You kind of have to kind of combine the information and come out with a mean through it all. So that's only fair. So that way we're not overshooting these into a price level that might seem irrational based off of a charity auction type of affair where people are going to bid it up anyways because it's going toward a good cause. Here's another one here on May 21st, a Mid-State 67 Extra V sold for $536. So just in the course of over a week, 10 days to be exact, this coin had jumped up about another $80 in that same grade, NGC graded. You get the big picture. But you can see that even 2 weeks ago, the coin was comfortably at like $50, $75. Look at this, May 19th, all right? Where are the $100 listings all of a sudden? No, the prices have began to gone up, but they haven't hit $100 yet. Here on May 9th, here's a Mid-State 67, a buy it now for $3.25. So you can imagine that if you're looking at this thing and you're like, I just want one, and sure, that's a heck of a lot of money to spend on that coin. And we're talking 22 days ago, you would have bought it for $325, but nowhere, there's not like a guidebook to flipping and making massive profits where you would think that this same very coin you could have sold for 3 weeks later for nearly double the price is just unmatched. It's exciting. It's a good time to be in a hobby because now we're in the midst of this newfound anomaly that is catching the world by storm. And it's not stopping. See, this is April 21st. See the prices here? $38. Here's another one here. This is kind of like the low bar, $20, 25 if you add in shipping. But as you can see, they've settled down, into the 20s for a pretty good amount of time. And then you're going to see these prices jump back up again, once we get to when it was first discovered back in early March. All right, so that's going back all the way to March 13th. As you can see, these things were at that time selling for about, $40, this is 13 days later. See, we're at $30. So prices that already began to erode. But can you imagine being that fly on the wall and like reading the crystal ball and you're like, okay, these things are going to be $150 to $200. I'm gonna buy up every single one that comes up on the auction block through eBay or wherever else, And I'm going to sell these things for 6 to 8 times X what I paid for it. It's really insane. And that's part of the volatility of the coin market sometimes. When you have something that is a new discovery, but there's no track record. It's unproven until concrete evidence comes out by a main error attributor. These things stay pretty subdued. All right, until that time when it comes out and it explodes, like it did. All right, so those are some of the realized sales just in the last 90 days. I know, quite shocking. Let's see what is currently out there today. All right, and you're going to find that there's a few semi-okay deals. You're going to find some big ones here, and you're going to find the guys that have the top pop graded coin at a 68, and they're asking $30,000 or best offer. It says extra V on there. It's wild. I think this is the guy right here, one of the OGs of this coin, 5san_82. And he has the Mike Diamond article in here. So you can always go in here and read this, or you could go on coinworld.com and check it out as well. But there's the whole write-up, just so you guys know that I'm not blowing smoke over up your collective hoo-has. There's a lot of concrete evidence supporting what I'm blabbering about today. So, I wish 5san a lot of luck. I don't know what that's worth because it's probably, if it's a top pop and it's a pop one, then it's unique and it's the only one out there. And given the popularity thus far of this particular variety, I'm sure that this coin is worth northward of 4 figures. All right, so $1,000 and up. Where that price value is, I don't know. Let's see what happens. But you go through and you check things out here. You had some pretty robust bidding activity on a few coins already. There's it's all over the place, and quite frankly, it's phenomenal to see this. And again, that's the hobby for you. But what else are you going to do? And then there's some that are quite cheap, but when you look at the coin up close, it doesn't have the extra V anomaly at all. So you have to be very careful. If you're looking to invest in one of these, then you might want to make sure that you are getting what you're getting. Like this one here is not the VDBV. Which brings me to my next point. There's a rumor that there is possibly a Denver Mint variant of the same variety. And the big reason why I say that is here's one here that's bid up to $101. And I think this is the one that doesn't have very good photos. But, and it doesn't. But, with a feedback score of 87%, that's kind of hard to take them at their word that is indeed, the coin in question. But as you can see, goodness gracious, it's wild. But here's an interesting point. There's 27 listings. Okay, not all of them are legit extra V coins. I would say probably 60% of that is, which puts it right around 19 coins. So that's quite low. There's not a lot of other people that are actually selling these right now. Okay, now granted, I'm using 2023 Lincoln V as my subject or my search terms for the search engine, which also leads me to penny rolls. How is this affecting Lincoln cent rolls today? It's extraordinary. These Lincoln cent rolls have been selling on average each for between $6 to $8. Like here's a 5 roll lot right here. Let me go ahead and refresh this. It's still the same. 5 rolls, free shipping. That puts it at $6 a piece. Here's 3 rolls at $7 a piece. Here's Denver. Here's 6 rolls of 2023P. With shipping comes out to $32. So that's about just over $5 a roll. Extraordinary. Wow. Pricey. And there's one other piece of staggering news that I think you guys need to know about. And just going through here, I mean, you're seeing the same thing. A full box of P-Mint 2023 shields, $100. Here's one box for 180. So they're kind of still all over the place. I think there is some market reaction to the extra V coins. But check this out. When we go to what's available now, there is only one box of P-Mint rolls. And that is, where is it? Right here. That's it. With 4 days left, it's up to $74.50. There are no more $25 count bank boxes of 2023 P Lincoln Cent rolls. There are none. Nunca. That's it. Everybody else is selling either singular coins or they're selling rolls. And at that point, you have to really make a decision if spending $8 for a roll is prudent enough to try and find these. They might be. I think part of this that which makes it exciting for a lot of people that live on the eastern side of the United States is that these are being found everywhere. They weren't dumped in a specific location, like the Wilma Mankiller quarters with the double-sided retained cut die break, which were dispersed in the Pensacola, Florida region and Mobile, Alabama. And that's a very small geographical area in the grand scheme of the entire east coast of the U.S. where those things might have been found. These are being found all over the place. However, I am going to say that the particular coins are coming up. If you have like a full $50 bank box or a $25 bank box, 5,000 coins, on average, you're finding about 3 or 4 of them in a bank box. They're not widespread. It's not like you're going to find one and then automatically find like 60, 70, 80 more of them. You're just finding a couple of them at a time. And that's been the report that I've heard from people that have been hunting these and have successfully found a few from different parts of the country. Like I have one person that I've talked to in New York State that every time they buy a bank box, and he said the last couple have been dry, which leads me to believe that the Federal Reserve Bank is now cycling through to the next batch of Lincoln cents that were produced by different sets of dies. So how many of these are still available out there in bank vaults today remains to be seen. If you go to, say, for example, a smaller bank that doesn't do as much merchant activity and still has some of these brand new boxes sitting in their vault from a few months ago, I'm happy to say that might be a honey hole that I would kind of try and massage and squeeze and see if I could obtain one of these boxes. Because, ladies and gentlemen, whether you're getting the rolls to search for yourself, or, hey, think about this, you can pick up the rolls and sell the rolls and still make a boatload of money off of those. They're going to be $150 to $200 per box by the time you factor in the cost of the rolls. That's 8 times face value on the low end. The low end. That's if you sell a whole bank box today. You should definitely do it. I mean, if you want to make money today in 2023, this is the coin that is currently setting a trend. All right, this is what's hot now, and what I like most about it is it has its own unique attribution that is currently being used by third-party graders and all across the community. And we could thank guys like Ken Potter, Mike Diamond for bringing a lot of awareness to this coin, because it's going to allow and afford the opportunity for people and folks out there that want to not only find the coin to add to their collection, but also give them the reason to need to go to the bank, pick up these rolls, and then monetize off of them. The same way that I'm monetizing right now off of just talking about this subject, because this is the hottest damn news so far in 2023. And I don't care what anybody else says. This is going to be something that I firmly believe, because it will eventually dry up, that will continue to move forward, and it's going to be favorable to the market in 5 years, in 10 years. It's going to be a rather unique coin. All right. And because now we have what I feel and believe is, a reasonable explanation as to what caused the extra V anomaly on these Lincoln cents, that it's going to be relevant for years to come. All right. And then the coins that we do come across 1 year, 2 year, 5 years later down the road, they're going to be beat up and circulated, but still have the extra V. That's going to be a coin that still has value, even in AU condition, So keep that in mind, but there is no better time to look for these than right now. So if you have the opportunity and you want to make some extra money, do one of two things. Go to the bank, obtain the rolls. You can either sell the rolls or go through the rolls in the hopes of finding these. But keep in mind, if you go through like $100 face value of these things and not find anything, then that's that. Then you go ahead and take the coins back to the bank, and then you go ahead and start anew with another batch. All right, and just continuously do it. By the time we're going to have this next conversation, sometime maybe after the summer, this fall, it's going to be different. These coins will not be readily available anymore through any of the banks because of the attrition and the turnover of these rolls to merchants. So keep that in mind. I hope you guys had a wonderful time on this video and that you guys have opened your eyes to this coin. It's amazing. And it's money. It's money, guys. Go out there, score yourself some of these, and do something with it. All right? If you need the cash, now's the time to strike. And it couldn't be any more easier than today. You guys take care. Happy hunting. And I'll see you on the next coin video. So long.